All right, I am just going to take a moment to get my presentation up for everyone. Right, so should be good here, and I'm just going to pull up the chat as well. And make sure this is up and running here. All right, great. Well, thanks, Dave, for that great introduction. And welcome everyone who's online for Blast Off with Online Learning from Estes. I just want to say a big thank you to Dave for being an incredible MC all day and the entire Pocket Lab team for putting this Science is Cool Unconference together. As Dave mentioned, this team put this whole event together in just 2 weeks, which is very, very impressive. So just thanks for having Estes as part of this amazing event. In addition, thanking all the other co-companies that have been participating all day. I've had the pleasure of being able to listen and have this opportunity to learn a lot about all of the innovation and creativity that's been happening with all of these different companies. So it's been a very memorable day in science. I've learned a lot, and I hope that everyone that's listening has been learning and just really getting excited about science education. So I want to start off with learning a little bit about the audience, and I'm encouraging everyone to pull up the chat right now to just get interactive with me. I want to learn about you. So throw in some information about the grades you're teaching, the subjects that you teach, and anything else that you want to add. I've been watching a lot of Instagram live videos in the past couple weeks, and they've been providing a really great platform for open dialogue, and I've seen a lot of people participating today. So just throw some of those answers up, and I'm seeing tons of answers. This is amazing. So STEM, high school physics, STEAM, some elementary school, high school teachers. Yeah, this is great. You guys are really great participants. So it's great to meet you. And my name is Nicole, for those of you, and I am the Education Program Specialist here at Estes. I've been here for only 3 months now, which it seems like I've been here for a lot longer than that. And I'm just really grateful to have the opportunity to learn more about rocketry and have the opportunity to work with the great team that's at Estes. Formerly, I was a 5th grade science teacher. So sitting in the shoes that many of you are sitting in right now, with a group of students, creating lesson plans, wondering how I'm gonna stay excited and energetic all day long, and trying to get that ratio of the amount of coffee I can drink and the amount of times I can go to the bathroom. I don't know about you guys, but that sometimes was a struggle for me. In addition, I am an educational trainer at a school in Haiti. So if you don't know where Haiti is a developing nation on an island in the Caribbean. And I'm lucky enough to lead teams of teachers from the United States down to Haiti to provide professional development opportunities and teaching workshops for the staff there. So really grateful to have that opportunity. But that's enough about me. I'm sure you're probably wondering who Estes is and what do we do. If you haven't heard of us before, Estes is a model rocket company. We manufacture model rocket engines and supply rockets, launch sets, glue, paint, and anything that you can imagine that you might need to build and launch a model rocket successfully. And before I dive into a little bit more about Estes history, I'm going to have the opportunity to time travel with all of you. So I would like for everyone to close your eyes or put your imagination cap on and just imagine that we are in the mid-1950s. And in the year 1957, Russia launched Sputnik, the first satellite that was ever launched into space by the human race. And this started the space race between Russia and the United States. And this event created a tremendous amount of excitement around space, causing a lot of youth and people to just think about what it would be like to walk on the moon for the first time. Prior to this happening, humans hadn't conceptualized what it would be like to actually have a person walk on the moon for the first time. And as Russia was doing a lot of great innovative technology, it inspired the United States to then kind of compete with them and choose to do some really, really great things for humanity. And this created, again, a lot of excitement between the youth in the world. And kids started emulating what they were seeing on the television and what they were seeing adults talking about. And they wanted to build their own model rockets. So kids were going out in their garages and their backyards, and they were building their own model rockets and building their own model rocket engines. As you can imagine, a lot of consequences and even some serious injuries took place because kids were just in their backyards making model rocket engines. Model rocketry is not how it is today, that's for sure. So a man named Vern Estes saw this as a great opportunity because he believed that it was so incredible that these kids were excited about space, but wanted to provide them with an opportunity to have a safe place to launch their model rockets. So in 1958, Vern founded Estes Industries in Denver, Colorado, with a vision of creating a safe way for kids to launch their own model rockets. So he actually invented a machine that mass-produced solid propellant model rocket engines. And this was an amazing invention because it gave places like schools and youth programs, Boy Scouts, that opportunity to then launch their rockets in a safe and reliable way, and just take that making the model rocket engines out of the hands of the kids and having that happen in a safe, controlled factory instead, which makes a lot of sense now. And the idea was pretty simple that he had, just taking a simple rocket kit with lightweight materials such as paper, cardboard, balsa wood, putting those in a kit with those manufactured engines and mailing them out to people so that the kids could then build those kits and launch them safely. And the best part about Vern was his vision for using model rockets as a tool for educators. And this was an incredible vision that he had because he saw the model rocket, just like the ones that we have today, 61 years ago as a valuable educational tool. So at Estes, we're just proud to say that we've been developing STEM education before it was even called STEM and helping educators to easily implement model rocketry inside their classrooms. So now we're going to fast forward back to today. And today we're continuing that vision that Vern had and taking learning to new heights. At Estes, we believe in the importance of interdisciplinary education. So combining science, math, technology with art, communication, team building skills, and putting that all together to create resources and tools for educators just like yourselves, giving them in you that skill and that confidence needed to take classroom learning to the next level. And at the heart and soul of our company, of course, is safety, because we wouldn't be able to be here today promoting a product that wasn't safe if Vern hadn't created such great invention to create this safety. So after our 61 years, we can proudly say that Estes has had over 500 million safe launches, and that's created a great platform for educators to use model rockets in their classrooms. In addition, we believe in the balance of learning and creativity. When a student is learning in the classroom and they might be reading a textbook, reading an article, looking at a video online, that's all great. They're memorizing a lot of material, but it's really important, as many of you know, to have that student then analyze, evaluate, and have the opportunity to create. So all of our programs offer that balance between learning and creativity. And finally, fun. It's actually impossible to launch a model rocket without a big smile on your face. And I can say that from personal experience, of course. I actually launched my first model rocket less than a year ago. I was formerly working for an aerospace company as a community outreach manager, and my boss came up to me one day and he was like, "Hey, Nicole, I've got this great idea. Let's create model rocketry programs for middle school students so we can add that to our community outreach portfolio." He was like, "Would you be interested in doing something like that?" And it was one of those moments where you're being asked a question, but in reality, you're sort of being told you have to go do this. So I said, "Of course, I can do that for you." So I sat down at my desk and immediately had a little bit of a panic because I had never thought about model rocketry and had no experience with it, and had never taught middle school students, which was another challenge in itself. But I was lucky enough to find Estes and all of the resources that they have on their website, work with their team to find the right rocket for the middle school age students, and develop 7 rocketry workshop programs last summer. And of course, it was so fun that now I'm here working for Estes. So it's an inherent fun activity and really creates memories that last a lifetime, which is phenomenal to say. So again, I'm going to open up the chat and I want to hear from everyone again. Do you have experience with rocketry? And so I'm looking for yes, no, maybe a little bit. Just want to hear from everyone if they've launched a model rocket before. I'm seeing some no's. Oh, I've got some people. Yes, no. Amazing. And so what I'm gathering from all of this, it's about 50-50. So we're going to do a little activity to test your experience with rocketry. So I would like for everyone to, maybe we're not going to do an activity. This has all of the information right on there for you. So we'll just go through this together then. So the first part of the rocket that I just want to get you familiar with, if you've never done rocketry before, are the fins. The fins are located right here at the bottom. And the fins are on this rocket to ensure that the rocket is stable during flight. So when the rocket is launching upwards, you want to make sure that it's not like wobbling or flipping. So fins are there to create this stability. In addition, this picture up on the screen actually is a cross-section of an Estes rocket. So if you cut this rocket open and look on the inside of the rocket is the engine and the engine mount where the engine sits. So this is connected to a starter, and that will ignite the engine, creating thrust, allowing that rocket to launch up into space. Moving on to the recovery wadding. The recovery wadding is in there, and it is actually flame retardant toilet paper, and the kids really get a big kick out of that one. So it is what it sounds. It's pieces of toilet paper that are placed in a flame retardant film, and it is protecting the recovery system from heating up and melting during flight. So that recovery system up there is the next part, and that can be a parachute, a streamer, and they're made of plastic. So if they get too hot, they will melt. So that recovery wadding is a really important piece in the rocket to make sure that the parachute, if it's a parachute, can deploy safely. The next part of the rocket is the nose cone, and the nose cone is really essential for having a great flight. So when a rocket is launching up into space, there is an opposing force going down on that rocket called drag, and drag increases with high amounts of surface area and rough surfaces. So if you could imagine like this clicker on top of this rocket, and as a nose cone instead, it has a pretty high surface area. So the nose cone is designed in a way to reduce the surface area at the top, and it's a very smooth surface that is reducing the amount of drag that is impacting the rocket, allowing the rocket to reach higher altitudes. And finally, we have the body tube there. So the body tube is this outer covering, and this is my favorite part of the rocket because this is where students can really get creative. when I was teaching the rocketry lessons, I was encouraging all of our students as an activity to decorate their rocket to reflect a certain theme. And I had these two girls come up to me and during one of the camps, and they were fairly interested in rocketry, but definitely not really engaged in the science part of it. And they came up to me and they said, Miss Nicole, we love Gucci and we love cats. Can we have a Gucci cat rocket? And I was like, of course you can. You can make your rockets do whatever theme that you want. So they went back and they spent like a whole hour designing their rocket. They had the like Gucci logo on it and a bunch of cats. And it took something that they were relatively engaged in and really created an environment for them to appreciate the rocket, learn more about it, and then have this great sense of accomplishment when they went out to go and launch it. And the final piece that I have up here on the slide is the launch lug, and that is just there so you can secure your rocket onto the launch pad and allow that rocket to be stable so it'll launch straight up in the air. So this is kind of an example of ways that you can teach rocketry online. If you like block out all of these, how I originally had it, it becomes a game, and you can use some of our resources online to create games and activities for your students. So we're going to move on and switch gears just a little bit and talk a little bit about why we teach. Again, I am opening up the chat right now to talk a little bit about why you all teach. So if you could throw some answers in there. I know that we don't teach because we're making a lot of money, because we have prestigious titles or an easy job. And I'm seeing to create scientists, to inspire students, make a difference, having students excited about learning. Yeah, you guys are all putting amazing answers in here. This is awesome. Yeah, so we teach because we want to inspire our students, ultimately to have them be successful in their lives. And success, of course, can be defined in a lot of different ways. That could be happiness or financial stability or finding a passion for science or a passion for learning. And we want to help, and someone just put to help the students understand this world that we live in. So we want to create an environment where our students can be successful. So when you think about model rocketry, it opens a lot of doors for your students to be engaged in learning. So there is a lot of information on this slide because it came from NASA, and it's a condensed list actually of all the opportunities and options that there are for people who are interested in aerospace. And I put all of these up there just to give you an idea of when you're teaching model rocketry in your classroom and or your virtual classroom, you can really connect it to a diverse group of interests in students, because you might have some students that don't like science or don't like math, and they might not be interested. Similar to those girls that I had in the rocketry camp, they were really interested in art. So there's a lot of technical communicators out there that are artists, photographers, or graphic designers, for example, that are working for aerospace companies. So rocketry can spark curiosity and inspiration around space, and then connecting that curiosity around traveling to the moon, traveling to Mars with the interests that you have in your classroom, it creates a model and a platform for you to really engage and connect rocketry to a wide range of students, which is really important, because I know for many of you, when you're trying to teach, it's really hard to engage all 30 students all at the same time, because every student has different interests. So this is just a great way to connect all of your students to rocketry in a meaningful way for them, so that they can find passion and they can find success in the future. And this was the story of a girl named Lauren. She was an intern last summer at the Museum of Flight out in Seattle. And I was actually out there teaching some of those rocketry workshops I'm talking about. So I had the opportunity to work with Lauren. And she was introduced to rocketry in the 5th grade by her 5th grade teacher, and just really fell in love and found her passion with it. that she went on in high school to start a rocketry club at her high school. And that club competed in the national Team America Rocketry Challenge competition. And she further pursued her interest in rocketry by she's now studying aeronautical engineering technology at Purdue University. So this is just an example of how using rocketry as a real-world science application can show students a pathway to success and connect passions that they have to creating sustainability in their lives, creating happiness in their lives, and providing them an outlet to make the world a better place and use science in impactful ways. So we are dreaming big here, right? This is the perfect world that we wish we lived in, where we had all of our students being inspired and engaged, but in reality, there's a lot of things that hold us back. So again, opening up this chat to see if, to hear a little bit more about the challenges that students are facing. So I'm starting to see some answers pop up, because I know that for me, it was challenging to have diversity in learning between all my students. I'm seeing funding come up. That's a big challenge. Language barriers, cultural barriers. It's very hard to implement all of those things in a meaningful way for all of our students. Yeah, students just not even caring and not paying attention. So the great thing about rocketry is it allows for students to be hands-on in their learning and provide a sense of accomplishment in what they're working on. So when you're thinking about building a model rocket, it inherently connects to kinesthetic learners, because they have to actually open up the package and build a rocket. And this is great for those people who need to be working hands-on, as well as connecting to auditory and visual learners in a big way. And when a student gets their rocket kit and might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed at first, because there's a lot of pieces involved with it, and there's a big instruction sheet, and as they work through those parts of building, they get a big sense of accomplishment in what they're doing. So that is just a great way to get some of those students that might not be engaged, might not care about what they're doing, and have them have this big challenge in front of them to work through building the rocket and feeling really accomplished when they get to actually watch it launch up into the air. In addition, all of our curriculum unit plans connect to the NGSS. So some of you might be thinking about how to change curriculum and take time to plan rocketry lessons and have them connect to the standards that are required. So we think about all of those things for you, as many of the companies here today are doing, which is fantastic that everyone's kind of thinking along these same lines. So we do connect to the standards, helping you to reduce the amount of time that is required for you to be planning and thinking about these things. And I know some of you are chatting in here saying that it's just really challenging to connect to the real world and create educational opportunities that engage students. Many of them are, raising their hand. Why are we learning this? I don't care. It's really tough to be engaging. So rocketry is great because it really applies to the real world. If you haven't heard about Project Artemis is a project that's going on right now in NASA, and NASA is on a mission right now through this project to have the first woman step foot on the moon by 2024 and have man return back to the moon, with this ultimate vision to get humans to Mars. And there are a lot of companies that are helping to achieve this mission, companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin, who are developing rocket technology, launching satellites and goods into space to achieve their goals. So it really does help, when you think about a model rocketry, to apply it to the interests and engage your students when you get to apply this knowledge in a real application. And it allows for students to set goals and work through a variety of different disciplines all at the same time. So we connect a lot of standards into our units so that it creates an opportunity for students to work through a goal over a longer period of time. And that connects again to this real world application. We can't just snap our fingers and then there's a rocket there. That's pretty tough. So this allows for students to set goals and understand that science a lot of times is about setting goals and working through a project over an extended period of time. And finally, Rocketry provides holistic skill building opportunities for your students. We focus a lot on 21st century skills, as that is what's really important for creating success among the students. So things like communication, teamwork, critical thinking skills, ethics, a lot of these skills are really important. So we embed all of those skills into our programs, combining them with the academic standards and requirements so that the students are being proficient in all the things that are required of them to learn, and combining that again with the technical skills that are required to build and launch rockets. So it creates a really great environment for students to gain all the skills that they need to be successful. So you might be thinking that this is really exciting, Rocketry sounds fun, but how am I going to implement that now today with the current situation that we're in? So we are traditionally not a online company. Of course, launching a rocket requires you to be outside. So we are in the process right now, like many of the other people here today, in kickstarting some online student sessions. They're going to be ready in the coming weeks. So these are going to be offering the opportunity for your students to get online with us and to build a model rocket and put all the pieces together and learn a little bit more about the science of how rockets work. In addition, we have a variety of different resources on our website, that including lesson plans, curriculum, and a Rocketry 101 PowerPoint that'll get you started today. And there's a variety of different activities embedded in that PowerPoint for you to get interactive with your students in a virtual way. So I'm just about out of time here. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you to all of the educators, principals, and different audience members that are here today. It is really challenging right now to pivot in such a big way as we try and teach all of our students online. Hard enough to engage them when you're in the classroom, and even more challenging here today. But all of you are really incredible because you've made this commitment to bettering yourself, bettering your classrooms, and bettering our science community by attending this seminar with all these different companies in order to increase the abilities of our students. And that's a big choice that you made. Similar to the choice that John F. Kennedy made when he got a whole nation behind a dream and a vision to launch a human into space and have man walk on the moon. So similar here in this video, you can hear it. John F. Kennedy took that choice. So again, just kudos to everyone for making the choice to be here despite all of the challenges that we're facing. And if you want to continue to choose to learn more about Estes, we are offering specific for this conference an opportunity for you to build a model rocket with us. So check your emails in the next coming days for more information. We're going to be offering a free online webinar and building session, and you'll have the opportunity to get a free model rocket. So we're going to send you this rocket in a kit, and you will then be able to register at a time that's convenient for you, the opportunity to build the kit together with the Estes team and learn more about Rocketry, the opportunities that we offer. And this will give you a chance to also win a classroom starter set. Classroom starter set includes rockets, engines, and launch sets, enough for you to get your classroom started. So again, check your emails for the opportunity to register. And thank you all for listening. And if you have questions, I'm going to pull open that chat one more time and answer some, or kind of call on Dave to help facilitate that. And if you want to email us, you can email us with any questions you have at educator@estesrockets.com. So thanks again, and Dave, you can start firing those questions at me.
Hey, Nicole, thank you. That was great. Oh, can you unshare your slides?
Oh, yeah, I can. Sorry.
Everybody does it.
It's like, forgot that part.
Something happened to your audio right after the rocket video. Maybe you need to turn it off and back on again, or let me see.
Is it better now?
It's a little crunchy.
Okay, interesting. All right. How about now? Is that a little better?
No, I don't know what happened, actually.
Oh, no.
Our first technical glitch of the day, which is...
I know!
It was amazing. We can still hear you. It's just a little crunchy sounding. And it's funny. I thought it sounded right after the rocket video.
Okay, well then it's the video's fault, I guess.
That's okay. Let me, you got a lot of the, by the way, great job waking up people and getting them to chat. It's like you walk around and stretch in the afternoon, I guess. So let's see, somebody's saying switch your audio settings back. That would probably be smart. We could take a second to do it because I don't want to miss you. You had a great presentation. I don't want to miss your questions.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to open my audio settings and see what happens.
There's a lot of good tech support in the chat.
Yeah, right. I know. Everyone knows what's going on here. Is this a little better now?
No.
Call it like phone a friend. Like where's the IT guy when you need him?
I wonder if there's something I can do. Hang on.
How about now? Is that better?
How's that?
Let's try this.
Hey, okay. So
there it is. We got it.
So I unmuted you on my side and then turn you back on again. Great. I think you got a lot of the questions I saw you going on there. I did see one slip by. Yeah, Dave's fault. Yeah, it's my fault. One slip by. What are age ranges?
So we start at, our products are recommended starting at age 10. So I believe that's like 4th grade. So we don't have right now any curriculum resources for elementary school. However, our products are able to be used at that age group. But we focus a lot of our resources on middle school and high school. And those are, I think I read somewhere that we do differentiate between middle school resources and high school resources. But elementary school, we just are up and coming. But the Rockets are, you can take a middle school lesson plan and tailor it to a 5th grade or a 4th grader.
Okay. There's another great question here too. In urban environments, do people use it less because it's harder to recover the rockets? It
is. So we have a couple of things that we can do to combat that. One is we do offer mini engines. So if you have a very small mini engine, you only need about an area of 50 square feet. So if you have like a small schoolyard, that works out pretty well. They don't go very high. So as long as they're not going like above a building. If we have resources on our website, if you're unsure if you can fly in a certain area. And then kind of as the default answer is if you're really unsure and not confident in launching a model rocket in an urban setting, feel free to just contact one of our team members and we can definitely look up those regulations for you just to double check. But we definitely do have small rockets that kind of help in that situation.
Yeah, I see some people mentioning that in you have a lot of fans here, I'll tell you. There's a lot of people.
This is great.
Who are really definitely use your rockets. So somebody also mentioned the air-powered ones too.
Yes, air-powered rockets are perfect. I know Pocket Lab has the sonic boom on their website, which is great. So those are a great tool as well.
Yeah. Somebody asked, how do you ignite the rockets?
That's a great question, actually. So I'm going to use the rocket tool as an example. It's just easier for me to explain. So here at the bottom, the engine actually goes in the bottom here, and you'll get a starter when you purchase engines from Estes, and you just put that starter into the engine and put a little plug on it. And then each launch set has a controller, and you have 2 micro clips that you'll just hook up to that starter. And then you have all your students stand back. Everyone counts down from 5, just like in a real rocket launch setting. And you press that button, and the controller is just going to send that electrical signal to the starter, and that's what's actually going to ignite the rocket. So all of that information is on the website and in all of the rocket kits that we offer.
Great, great. Probably the funniest comment I saw early on was somebody volunteering to help you in Haiti.
That's amazing. Yes, email educator@estesrockets.com. Please email me. I would love that.
That's really good. And it's pronounced Estes. I think I've been saying it Estes.
Before I knew, I was calling it Estes too, but it is Estes. I didn't know either.
But now I know, I've been for years, so now I know too. That's great information. Great. Anything else you want to share? Any new stuff coming up, or any exciting things?
I guess we're looking forward to partnering with Pocket Lab. That's pretty exciting. So we're going to be creating some new resources with Dave and the team at Pocket Lab, which we're excited to share, using all the amazing data that their sensors are collecting, and putting that into rockets to create that next level experience for students. So we'll have some new units and curricula coming out in the future. So that's a big one that I'm excited for.
That's great. Thanks for mentioning that. We've been using your air rockets for years now as a kit, and it's really popular. It seems like in the spring we get a lot of orders for it, because I think people want to get outside and do some things with the class, and you can collect great data from them. And I was so excited to meet with you at trade show, NSTA trade show a couple of years ago, and everybody there was so excited about working together. So we're definitely doing that. Yes, stay tuned. We want to use the solid fuel rockets and put Pocket Labs in them. And Estes has a great payload option that Pocket Labs fit right in, and the data is going to be great. So we're looking forward to working together on that and having co-marketing those as kits.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome partnership for sure.
There's other questions popping up. Do you have any plans to develop launch controller kits around Arduino? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's something that is in the idea stage right now, but no formal plans as of yet. But we do want to start combining coding and rocketry in a big way. We used to actually, back in the day, have the opportunity for students to make their own launch controllers. It was like a kit you could buy to make them. So there's a lot of ideas floating around, but nothing formal quite yet.
I imagine people could just hack it. There's a lot of people who love to do that stuff, and
yeah, I'm sure you can.
yeah. But that's a great idea. And somebody was asking, do you have any contests coming up?
None yet, but we did have one actually before I started. I know we were doing a social media contest. So if you don't follow us already, on our Facebook channel and our Instagram is a great way to stay up to date on any of the contests that we're running. We do like to do competitions and a variety of different contests, but nothing. I have to check with our marketing team, but I don't think we have anything on the horizon just yet.
I'm seeing somebody here saying they put a camera on a rocket and got some great video. That sounds really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Wow.